What is going on, everybody? As you can see from this beautiful thumbnail, I had to put it up twice. I just had to put it up twice because, man, that looks pretty. The artwork has always got me in this game, but then Creature, I'm like, I told him I need a thumbnail. We got to talk this TWAB. We got the playlist coming back. We got a bunch of changes because people are eager to see Stasis go in the grave, but still, I think Stasis is still going to sit up on top for a little bit, especially for all my Hunter mains out there. But yeah, let's just bask in this nice thumbnail one more time. We got a real nice producer for that. But yeah, as you guys can see from the title, Trials is back. March 12th. 2021, just a day shy from the resurgence that we had of it, March 13th, 2020. What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the Crucible Coliseum. We are doing something different because the news was just too big not to come talk about. Trials coming back, Stasis, few guns, one gun in particular, Arbalest, is being handled. I can't wait to go through this with y'all. So happy to see y'all in here. New faces, old faces. It is really good to see everybody in here. Hope everyone's enjoying the Thursday. Got one more day till Friday. I was honestly waking up this morning thinking like, oh man, it's Thursday. We got one more day till nah. They're not gonna do it. They're not gonna do it. Especially that poll I put up yesterday. I put up a poll. Probably will put up another poll right here live on stream. But the poll, it was like 2/3 against Trials coming back this season. Not let alone this week, but this season. Everyone put it in the dirt, put a nail in it, last nail in the coffin. Everyone was done with it, and I can see why. I can understand. It's an understandable statement because of all the crap that we've been through. But I'm sorry, I'm just a little excited. I'm excited to get back to playing. It's a big reason why I still play this game. It's a big reason I'm there at Reset, grinding it out. And it's going to be fun to bring on people back. Now that now that Crucible Coliseum has hit over the 1K subs, I want to bring you guys Trials Halftime on a whole new level. We're going to be playing again. Getting more people interested in coming on. A lot of the higher end people that I've kind of messaged a long time ago, I'm on the radar now. This channel's on the radar. You guys are on the radar. So I want to bring those people on, those individuals, to share with them exactly what makes them great so you can utilize it in your own gameplay and make myself a little bit better too. So again, yeah, Trials of the Cheaters is back. Yeah, if you're on PC, it's not like they have an anti-cheat quite yet, but we're going to stay a little positive today. For our console brethren, our ladies and gentlemen on our consoles that are enjoying Trials week in and week out. I know they're excited to get back to it. Pretty sure the whole directory on the other platforms excited to get back into it. People on YouTube are excited to get back to it. I'm excited to get back into it because we've made our own little namesake in this corner of YouTube, and we're just going to be getting bigger. So let's just start breaking down into it. We got Grandmasters coming back. For years, we've been fighting to keep the last city people safe. This is their little way of being cute, talking to the narrative. Our latest efforts off-world to keep Cabal leaders from strengthening Keitel's war council have been fruitful, but sometimes the danger is close to home than you think. If you haven't seen the cutscene that went live on Tuesday, we won't spoil it for you. All will see it. Excuse me. All will see that is what happened will not be taken lightly. For the TWAB this week, we'll have a refresher on Grandmaster Nightfalls for the new lights out there, a preview for some Stasis tuning coming next week, March 23rd, and a result for our Festival of the Lost Honor Ornament vote. Excuse me, I'm still shocked, A, that it's coming back, and then B, that the vote for the armor. Yeah. But Grandmasters are back, so they will be fixing that 12-man. I doubt that's going to be something that's going to be able to vehemently do. Yo, what's going on, Sparta? Happy Thursday as well. Yeah, PC's never going to get an anti-cheat. Probably not. I'm going to be as responsive during to chat as I can during this. I'm not going to be as robotic just reading through it, but I want to get through the major things, and I don't want to neglect PvE, because a lot of these changes that are coming to the PvP and Stasis, it give you little notions that are like, hey, unaffected in PvE, and that, I love to see that. And it's actually gonna raise a lot more questions. Hey, why couldn't you do this crap from the beginning? All these guns you guys changed around, all these perks. Why, if there was a separation of powers between PvP and PvE, why couldn't it be done a long time ago? We'll talk Grandmasters real fast. Strike difficulty is set to 1350. Minimum powers required is 1325. No changes there, just a little bit under. The contest mode, putting you no higher than 1325. That is where the cap is. Each strike will have a specific set of modifiers to ramp up the difficulty, so make sure to inspect each one to know which champions you will face and what other challenges await you. One Grandmaster Nightfall will be available each week until 420. Starting April 20th, you'll have the opportunity to blaze. Wow. Listen. I don't think these guys get away with a lot of good jokes. That was a good one. Starting April 20th, you'll have the opportunity to blaze through all available Grandmaster Nightfalls through a direct launch playlist. I'll be blazing a lot more that day. Anyways, if you miss a week, the final 3 weeks of the seasons, seasons are your opportunity to catch up. As we know, the 3 guns currently, Shadow Price Palindrome and the Swarm, will be available for completing for their adept versions. I'm excited for Pally. I just got a few of them this week, and I'm actually very impressed with how it feels, how it shoots. Let me know in chat and or the comments any good rolls that you guys are getting for Palindrome. I'm always peeking at people's PvE and PvP rolls, of course. But PvE rolls, especially because I feel like I'm taking that one everywhere. All right. Krebsy says, crossplay is right around the corner. Will console players be affected by cheating on PC? I hope Bungie doesn't think the fix is every problem with Trials / Crucible. No, it doesn't. There's a... We know from the statement, Blackburn is going to change up the reward structure and incentivizing players to finish out their cards. So I think hopefully with that on top of anti-cheat, we're cooking with gas. We're cooking with some gas. Gilded version of Conqueror. That will be fun. You know, it's these 12 mans were fun for real quick, just to really touch on those. I haven't done a raid. I've done the Nightfalls with them, and man, I love that they didn't red alert, put a hot fix, kind of just let it run its course for a little bit. I've said it in a few games. I feel like it's kind of game breaking just because the content they're going into, even at the master level, it's not meant for it. You watch people die. It doesn't matter. Some people don't even take mods into it, but it's a lot of fun. And if you can give it a try while they're okaying it, do it. It will give you an idea or an aspect to this game to be like, why don't they do something like this and turn it into a mercy version of strikes? Obviously, they'd have to limit the loot because they're not going to give you the best loot like we're getting currently. But can you imagine some sort of mercy, or excuse me, a mayhem version of strikes? Mayhem? Oh my gosh. I think that would be absolutely wild. All right. Clap for you says he's got no PvP role. That's unfortunate. Still haven't gotten a Palindrome Sparta. You got to get in there. It's now's the time, dude. Now is the time. Zero Albatross Outlaw Rampage Masterwork. Outlaw Rampage Range Masterwork for PvE, lovely, and then good for PvP somewhat. Yeah, absolutely. Hey man, Outlaw Rampage with a range. I don't think you could do some work. You do some work with that one. All right. Got a few patch notes for a few of these strikes. Few few fallen saber bugs that honestly I didn't even see. A few grammatical errors, it looks like. Zavala's dialogue. Nothing too pressing. Armor. Linear actuators perk for the Titan exotic Doom Marchers, which was not triggering properly. I feel like I'm dying to that thing all the time. The perk now behaves as expected, triggering on each subsequent melee strike after an appropriate amount of sprint time. That thing, I think that thing is very lethal right now. I'm let me know, any Titan mains out there, have you guys had that problem with the linear actuators on Doom Marchers? Has it not been proccing in its normal fashion? I still feel like I'm dying to it at appropriate times when I'm fighting someone that's using it. Fauna might no longer displays a generic damage boost string when its benefit is active. Okay. Fix a bug where the mantle of battle harmony on Omnioculus exotics were not displaying their flavor text. Okay. If I can say anything real quick about the Omnioculus, that is a lot of fun, and especially in that 12-man, I was never running out of smokes. And 3-mans with the strategy of using Bottom Tree Void for the Night Stalker, you're constantly having those smokes between running away and or fighting, because you got a little damage, a little bit of armor to help you in those engagements with that smoke. So I'm really enjoying that hunter exotic, and I feel like I was not dropping stasis even in the PvE aspect unless I had to do a quick 3 for the pinnacle that week, 3 strikes for the pinnacle, and I had to change my subclass. But this one, it actually makes me want to go and use Void a little bit more exclusively when I'm in PvE. Omnioculus no longer grants melee energy when making only yourself invisible under some circumstances. Okay. Killers of the Falling Star no longer grants an overshield when used with supers other than Thunderclash. Let me know if that affects any sort of gameplay, you Titan mains out there. I know how lethal that exotic is. Honestly, I think that exotic is a lot of fun. I think they need to make more exotics like that. This game's going into its 5th year, 7th year on the franchise itself, and some of these strikes, there's no reason we can't have certain exotics to just yeet stuff out of control. What do we got here? Don't sleep on the surplus perk. It reloads faster than any other perks. Okay, all right. I honestly, I'm always using my skills, so I feel like I'm always going to be not being able to proc those or that perk as best as I can. I'm throwing my shurikens. I'm dodging. I'm nading. It's always on cooldown. Metpack says, I haven't had a chance to go for Pally. I just barely got a good bottom dollar. Rampage Outlaw, Alcurize round, Smoothbore, and dude, you just came in here to just rub it in our face. You literally don't have to touch Gambit forever. Zero Albatross. I out folks down with the Pally, just like True Prophecy, more for PvP. Okay, all right, yeah. See, I'm glad there's that sort of effectiveness for some people. Some people felt like the 3-tap was almost dissipated with 140s if you weren't using something like Ace of Spades. And now I'm happy that we're kind of leveling out what's going on. Weapons. Fixed an issue where flavor text wasn't appearing for several seasonal weapons. Okay. Add a rumble to the end of Dead Man's Tale reload. Okay. Adjusted Wrist Runner perk. The VFX that were causing epileptic issues. All right. That's good. This one. This. Do you understand what this means? This right here. I don't think I've said this enough. The Arbalist. Reduced Arbalist aim assist, making it harder to hit headshots in Crucible. I'm extremely happy. But from what it's done and the use of it and the frequency and the ability to magnetize to Guardians' heads, especially on the console with this thing, that one sentence makes it the change so simplistic to me that what took you so long? What's going on? You guys took care of the hard light, I thought, relatively quick, and that thing was everywhere. Granted, hard light isn't as bad as Arbalest by any means, but it's been something we've been talking about for a while. So I'm happy for this. I think this is something that needed to happen for a minute again. So I'm happy that we're finally going to see that go into the sandbox on the 23rd. Set the frenzy and cranial spike perks to use the correct buff icons. Okay. Fix Tiku's divination missing kill feed icon. Yeah, I did notice that one. After a few weeks of development and playtest, we also have a round of Stasis balancing slated for March 23rd, and we're getting in the chunk of everything, ladies and gentlemen. All right, hey everyone, gameplay team at Bungie here. We made some targeted changes to Stasis in Season 12 and wanted to see how they landed before making any more adjustments. What did you change to the Titan in Season 12 that led you to think now was appropriate for Titan? I'm digress. I'm sorry. Sorry, Titan mains. I'm not hating on y'all. The behemoth needed to be fixed a long time ago. All right, now that we've have several weeks of data it's a whole lot of behemoth data, weeks of data to analyze, we're ready to make some further changes to address additional pain points of Stasis in PvP. Our goal with these changes is to reduce some of the frustrations when fighting against Stasis subclasses in the Crucible, while maintaining their power in PvE content wherever possible. With that said, some changes required us to adjust the global behavior of some abilities. In the patch notes below, we've explicitly mentioned which changes will affect Crucible functionality only. We'll be closely monitoring ability performance and feedback as Season 13 continues. Thanks for playing, and we're excited to see the future of Stasis unfolds. Well, I mean, you guys already knew what Stasis was going to do. It couldn't have been this like pearl clutching when everyone freaked out about it. You knew what poison you guys are putting into the water. Like this ain't something different. Let's talk about my man, the Hunter, first. Shatter Dive. Remove damage resistance from Shatter Dive. I think I was okay with this from the beginning. I was almost expecting this from the very first one. The review that we did, actually, like I think it was like way back in like January, when they first acknowledged that these changes, that I felt that kind of should have been removed to begin with. I don't see why the Shatter Dive damage resistance was damn near close to throwing a sickle at some point. And even now, I can honestly admit it has gotten me out of plenty of tight situations just because of that little bit of nick of damage resistance at its pinnacle in the air. This one was surprising today, but I feel like I've swallowed this pill enough, but now that it's kind of regurgitating back up, it's going weird. It's weird going back down. Added a 4-second cooldown between activations of Shatter Dive. I'm going to test this on Tuesday after it goes live, but I'm really curious on when that 4 seconds begins. Does it begin right on initiation at the pinnacle of the jump, or wherever it is that you activate it, or is the 4 seconds start right as you hit the ground? So interesting that one, and how it's going to relate to the Hunter and the Shatter Dive. Real quickly before I go into Withering Blade and the other ones, because I feel my particular gameplay is so much appropriate to these two things. One being the Shatter Dive in incorporation with the grenade. And as I said before, I was expecting something like almost 10 seconds, maybe 5. But 4 isn't terrible. Again, I'd like to see when that 4 starts and ends. I still believe and still am confident that the people that are good at utilizing that mechanic, nade slam, they're going to just be more precise. They're not going to be able to abuse it. You can't really abuse the slam if you don't got the nade anyway. So people are going to just be a lot more precise. The forgiveness is now just basically been withered away. If you don't throw your nade out, and I've done this plenty of times where I hit my nade, my bumper to throw my nade, and I'm already hitting the button to slam, and I'm slamming nothing, and I'm just dead. Now I won't be able to follow up real fast where I can land on my feet, throw the nade, and then slam it again. Now the forgiveness window has just closed, and it's just that much tighter. Again, still feel you getting slowed by Bacchus, you getting a nade throw within that 5 meter death radius, it's still going to be effective way. Let's move on. Withering Blade. Decrease Withering Blade damage against players from 90 to 65. PvE damage is unchanged. Great. But this is where I was saying earlier that this is going to upset people in a way. They'll be like, well, you've been doing this the whole time? You've been able to do this? Like, what's going on? Why couldn't you guys do this from the beginning when we had a handheld Supernova? Those types of things. So I've personally, I felt since they did update it, 90 was a lot. I was always comfortable with throwing 2 and then being really low or obviously frozen. So I guess it's kind of just bringing it back to par a little bit with just a little bit more gas into it. Decrease Withering Blade slow attacks applied to players from 60 to 40 stacks. I'm totally okay with this. I hate people that it kind of sucks for Whisper of Endurance, because that, I believe, was the one that gave you to that 60 stacks. It gave you that 6-second slow speed. So now it's only giving you that 40. Sucks in PvP, but hey, PvE, slow stacks are unchanged. That's great for y'all out there. So if you are PvE in here and you're supporting, and this pertains to you, so you're double dipping right now. All right, next one. Decrease the target acquisition range of Withering Blade after it impacts a player from 12 to 8 meters. When they said that they were going to change the tracking on that in the previous, I really thought it was just going to be done in the dirt, kind of like how Bottom Tree Solar was for the Hunter, where the tracking on that knife kind of just dissipated. If you have the new gauntlets that came out in Beyond Light for the Hunter, though, that one, it's like they bring it back and times 200. But this one, from 8 to 12, if 2 Guardians are right on top of each other, it's still gonna do the domino ricochet that we've seen it go back and forth among other Guardians when you throw one of those shurikens or let alone both. So effectiveness, people have put it in chat a few times. I still think the effectiveness of the Stasis Hunter will still be there. I don't think they're just going to nerf this to the point where people are going to be scrimming in Stasis. That's not happening. That's not happening. Stasis will never be a scrim viable subclass. It's just not meant to be, and I don't think that's something that they account for to ensure that the Stasis is part of that. So one of the music had changed up, pardon me. So let's move on to the next one. I just need to text my phone today. All right, next one. The Titan. This was long awaited. This was something that, again, I felt took a lot longer than needed. So it'll be refreshing. Hey, if you're a Glacial Quake Behemoth Titan, get it in this weekend. Get it in this weekend, because this is going to be the weekend of flex, and then that power is going to be dissipated. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe some Titans will still feel very confident going into the Crucible and with no brainer put on this subclass. Glacial Quake. Remove the AoE freeze against player on Supercast. Will still freeze PvE enemies on cast. Hey, that's still nice. That's still nice. Reduce damage resistance while on super from 60 to 50. God, it feels so much higher than 60. It truly does. That's great that it's being reduced, but it truly does feel so much higher than that. Increase the energy cost of using Shiver Strike while in Glacial Quake, from 3% to 7% super energy. Good, because people were able to fly across the map by just hitting their light attack a bunch, and that will make it so that Guardians will be a lot more selective with how many times they're going to want to either traverse and or strike incoming opponents. Using the combo Shiver Strike into a heavy slam attack will now cost the full super energy of both the Shiver Strike and the slam. Previously only costed energy for the slam. More mitigation, more times to reduce how long you're in that super, especially when you're striking with light attack or heavy attack. These are common sense things I would assume, and I know that may sound kind of rude, but like let's just call it out here. Like how did that leave the shipping floor and you guys are like, yeah, like he's not losing any super when he's getting across the map, or some of these playtesters are just not as full of imagination as some of our content creators and or players out there who can fly across the map with this super. I don't know. I want to assume that these minds are bright and that some of them, not all of them, play the game to a big degree. But hey, I guess that's might be stretching a little bit. So, Shiver Strike. Increased downwards velocity applied to Shiver striking players when they are slow to pull them out of the air more strongly. I'm assuming that means you're not going to be jettisoned across the map anymore when you're getting yeeted by this thing. The Warlock. It's been sitting on the side of the exit ramp for a minute, just begging for some help. I think maybe it's going to get a little bit of improvement, a little bit of love now, to the point where we're going to see a lot more Stasis Warlocks within both Trials and Crucible itself. Maybe the Chaos Reach and Top Tree Dawn, you can't beat how effective those two are, especially the mobility of Top Tree and how lethal the Chaos Reach is. Let's get into it. Winter's Wrath improved tracking of Winter's Wrath projectiles. Now tracking strength decays from its max value over 10 seconds instead of 2. Wow, that's huge. That's huge. Increase the size of the Warlock super projectiles proximity detonation radius from 1.5 to 1.65. Okay, little bit. The proximity detonation now starts at its largest and scales down to 40% over time. I think that would make sense. Some sort of fall off for that would be useful. Let's It's the Dub says it's crazy to see how far they've come, being able to separately change something like freezing on Supercast in PvP and PvE seems insane to be able to. I guess it's based on the enemy type rather than the super itself. That's a very good question, but like these are things that like we've been almost wanting since the very beginning, and I know 30, when he would come on the round table, he's been asking for like a perch separation. Oh, here we're getting skill separation. Why is there something stopping the game devs from being able to separate gunplay like they're doing our ability play? All right. Penumbral Blast. Decrease Penumbral Blast damage against players from 80 to 30 damage. Okay. All right. So now it's just going to be more so a nice little Sub-Zero freeze attack. PvE damage is unchanged. Good to see. Good to see for those Stasis Warlocks that are going strong in PvE content as well. Ice Flare Bolts. Fix the bug where Ice Flare Bolts would continuously try to switch targets. Okay. I guess that was the thing. Let me know as a Warlock main out there. Is this something? Some of these ones, I'm like raising my eyebrow like The Rock, because I don't know if that was something that has been, vocalized from people in the community as we're like, hey, we need to handle that. Increase target acquisition range of Ice Flare Bolts by 33%. Okay, you always like to see increase, especially when it's something in the positive. Increase turning speed of Ice Flare Bolts so they can more effectively hit nearby targets. Okay, a little bit of tracking on that now. All right. Wow, look at this one. Chaos Reach. Decrease the amount of super energy refunded when canceling Chaos Reach early. Big. Spoke too early there. That's big. Because now this... Between the changes to Stasis, now we might see more Stasises stasis subclasses in place of that chaos reach option, or are those chaos reach options going to revert back to Dawnblade top tree? I'm really curious as a warlock maid, and if you're using chaos reach or you've kind of picked it up, let me know if you're worried about that come Tuesday and how that might affect either your decision making of subclass of choice of selection going into either regular Crucible and or Trials. The Dustfield Grenade. The Dustfield Grenade, I feel, has taken the new turn of being on top. Yes, there's still a lot of walls, but dust fields are everywhere. Reduced how strongly Dustfield Grenades pull players inwards, effectively reducing the pull range from 9.5 to 6 meters. A nice 3.5 seems extremely significant to where I know that I was either a few yards away from the actual bubble that I won't be pulled into it now. I'm really cool about that. And another big thing, PvE pull impulses is unchanged. Every time I see it, I'm gonna say, like, going back to all these weapons that they've altered for the sake of PvP and PvE patrons just being completely upset about it. People canceled Chaos Reach. Oh, that's terrible. I doubt it was. I think they probably saw how quickly people were able to get that much energy back, and then they utilized the Geomag's exotic perk. Reduce the slow stacks applied to players by the grenade detonation from 20 to 10. Detonation slow stacks are unchanged against PvE. Another great thing to see. I'm going to read it every time because it's that good to know, because some of these ones, a whole 180 of input of what they were doing, and it's unaffected in the PvE standpoint. When I'm inside the middle of these dust fields, I feel lethargic, so slow. And I know that's obviously what it's meant, but I feel like you're supposed to be able to get out of it, especially when you're not in the dead center of it. Reduce the slow stacks apply to players on each tick of the grenade from 10 to 5. Per tick slow stacks are unchanged against PvE. Great to see. Adjusted the UI presentation of the slow status to display slow stacks as X times 100 instead of X times 10 to increase readability when adding slow stack amounts that are fewer than 10. Okay. UI is always nice to see. Stasis crystals. This is another one I feel like affects to the first point I made in the very beginning about my particular playstyle and anybody else's particular playstyle as a hunter that utilizes the Whisper of Shards, a method of still breaking the grenades. Reduce crystal shatter damage against players from 85 max to 55 minimum to 55 max to 25 minimum. You're gonna have to hit him with that 5 meter grenade now. It's not gonna get any residuals. Granted, it's going to be able to do a lot of damage to full health guardians within that 5 meter and or weak guardians, but it's the damage fall off is going to be extremely real, and I'm going to break that down on Tuesday because, again, that affects me directly, and I'm curious how much I'm going to have to change personally. Like I said in the very beginning, slowing with a Bacchus, basically throwing that grenade at their feet or within that 5 meter range, instantly slamming, you're going to still have that same lethality. I called it out the first time. I'm going to stick to my guns. I still think it's going to have that same amount of lethal damage. Whisper of Chains. Reduce Whisper of Chains damage resistance bonus while in super from 25% to 5%. Damage resistance when not in super is unchanged. This only affects damage from other guardians, not PvE stuff. Good. Whisper of Torment. Fix the bug where players could continuously proc Whisper of Torment while standing inside an opponent's barricade. Figured that would be an easy one to fix. Stasis Fragment Quest. Significantly reduce objective completion values for all. They were a little bit tedious. I absolutely agree. Apparently the dinosaurs one, which I'm kind of happy as well. Jurassic Park fan as well. They're another attempt at a joke. At least it's a good movie. But yes, Team Dinosaurs. we're gonna have some dinosaur armor. At least we're gonna get something brand new, and it's not something that ugly, I hope. Let me know if you either voted for the dinosaurs or the monsters. I didn't vote personally. I kind of was rooting for the dinosaurs. I'm a Jurassic Park fan, to be honest. All right, we are going to scroll down to the very big news and pretty much why a big majority of you tuned in. Trials of Osiris. We have resolved an issue that prevented the Trials of Osiris from being active the past 2 weekends. Trials of Osiris will be re-enabled and active at the daily reset on Friday, March 12th. Players who observe other issues should report them to our help forum. Okay. We know that 12 mans are still going to be active when Trials goes live tomorrow. What exactly is that going to change and or affect? I wonder. I was always under the impression that those issues were tied together. I assumed it was. They both kind of kick-started around the same time. People were getting into 12s. People were leaving their characters and or changing different accounts in the middle of cards, in the middle of games on those cards. So I just assumed one affected the other. Clearly, that's not the case here. But I think the people that love to tinker are going to be messing with that. So we're gonna cross our fingers, keep our ears to the floor, and hopefully nothing big happens to the playlist. We got a bunch of new items that we haven't even got yet. We still haven't even got the helmet of the new armor. So that I know that's probably one of the biggest coveted pieces, that and maybe the class item for some classes. But we have that. We have the Adept Messenger. We have the regular version of the Igneous at 3. We're craving that weekend, and hey, they could just do it this weekend and just surprise us all. I want to know though. I want to know in this TWAB, was there anything that was adjusted that you guys are liking, or anything that probably missed the script? I know anti-cheat is the biggest one that we still have all circled, especially all our PC brethren and ladies out there that are playing. So I know that is the most glaring, clearly, and it's been a priority of mine, so I can go back on PC and play cards on PC as well at a comfortable pace. But let me know in the comments if you're watching after this, and let me know right now in chat. We're not gonna cut it off real quick. We're gonna sit here, talk to chat a little bit, get a little excited, talk about our hopes for this weekend in terms of rewards and or maps. I'm just looking over the final well-known issues. What's going on? I saw the Turbo Kickers Hunter exotic ornament for Stomp. Oh, it's the ornament. Who cares? But yeah, that's pretty much it. Got a bunch of other movie of the weeks. I made a few of these. I should have been on there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We're excited to see this. This is what I was excited to see today. I did not expect to see this today. I really didn't think it was going to happen for maybe another two or 3 weeks. Given exactly what was going on, it was bad to the point where it was collective. It was basically assimilated onto the PC. I'm not here to grandstand and tell all those people are cheaters or anything. That's not why I'm here. We're here to say that we got something positive for tomorrow. Hopefully, no matter what platform you're playing on, you're gonna be in great shape, and it'll be a healthy playlist. I'm really hoping that with the rewards and then the hiatus that it was on for the last 2 weeks, that people are gonna be very eager to get back in there. Oh, we do have a poll. The producer was very nice while I was going through my rambling to get a poll up. How do you feel about PvP and Trials after today's TWAB? I'm hyped. This is long overdue. 37% at thus far. I'm not sure. Need to play some games and see. Okay, and I just don't care. I think that's a good third across the stream right now. I think I want to see a little bit more excited. I understand. You could literally have a conversation with me, tell me why you're not excited. I'll be like, damn, I feel you. Like, I think you're right. I think where you are coming from it is an honest, justified opinion, because a lot of people have had the same problems. So again, I'm extremely pumped. I did not think, I thought this weekend was just going to be more community play-alongs, which I'm thoroughly enjoying, and I hope you're enjoying too. We're still going to have those weekly basis. Going to fluctuate and use the poll system to weigh out if people want a PC or a console night. So we're going to continue. We're going to continue on that course of the community play-alongs. But now that we got Trials, now we're I said in the beginning, we're cooking with gas. We're going to have the Saturday stream. I'm going to be doing an upload on Friday. We have a whole schedule of exactly what we're doing with Crucible Coliseum, and I'm going to stick to that very strict schedule as best I can, especially with the new obstacles that are in my real life going on right now. But it's a schedule I'm excited about. It's a schedule that I'm really happy that we're getting back on target, because I was a little nervous at first. I didn't know where we were going to go as a community without Trials being here for even just a season. I know a lot of people are like indefinitely. Like personally, I was never saying indefinitely. I just said it was disabled. I didn't ever even want to use the word canceled, because some verbs give people the wrong impression. Kind of like, you know, like false news or a game of telephone. I've felt that they were going to come back around the time of Grandmasters. I thought it was going to be next weekend, and I'm happy we got it this weekend. So it's exciting. Like, I hope everyone is excited to in the hopes that the rewards are going to be good. I don't see. I would really hope they don't fumble it, because they were smart enough to not have it go live. I know I used a double negative there, but it was wise of them to go live this weekend, considering we're at the anniversary of this resurgence and this reintroduction of Trials of Osiris, one of the best parts of D1, and they can't continue to fumble this. They need to sit there and take the punches of their mistakes and do whatever they can. I'm not saying they need to put all their focus into Trials. They need to put all their focus into a lot of things in this game. But if they're gonna make this the pinnacle PvP, they got to start treating it like the pinnacle PvP and not making it some sort of joke. Wheezy, what's going on? Diaz, thanks again for covering the news. Always going to be in chat for the view for sport. Yeah, I really appreciate it. This was something I needed to come live and talk about. I was reading it, and people were talking in the SNTR live Discord about it, and I was like, yeah, I'm reading it. There's a lot to take in, and then I'm just scrolling, looking for trials, hoping. Krebsy says, event armor should be obtainable from in-game playtime. If you want to pay for it, go ahead, but none of this matters if the event keeps being trash/repeats with nothing to grind for. Hey, that's very true as well. It has to come with the rewards. The rewards have to be there. Fit Doc says, do you think it'll be the same rewards from half disabled week? I don't know. I'm under the impression right now that they have like a set order of weekends and what's going to be the menu, we'll call it, for that weekend. And it's either they preset it user by a user, or it's some software. Because this is me hoping that the software isn't really A, bad, or B, people are inept. But some of these weekends, you got to be like, what were you thinking there? Or just like, we don't care because it falls on the weekend trials, or it's a poor map, whatever the case may be. So I'm really happy that we're going to be able to get back on track. I'm really happy to see everybody in here going over the TWAB. We're going to make this as regular as we can. If it's a really PvE heavy TWAB, it probably isn't really up our alley. But if things are changing in the sandbox, things are changing in any of the PvP playlists, I want to be able to bring the news and bring content that day, because this is something that we're still going to cover. I know we're in a little weird spot on Destiny in this community. We're gonna get through it. we're gonna get through it together, but we're also gonna get through it by building this channel into something more than just Destiny as well. We're going to be diving into other PvP games real soon. So, and that's why I want to utilize as much of you as I have in here to let you guys know that other PvP games are on my radar, either ones that are coming up in the future or ones that have sat on for a little bit, hoping for a little bit of change. I'll give you just a heads up. Overwatch having a console update for 120 frames. It's on my radar now. Getting back into that, I would love to play that again, and hell, maybe even make community nights out of it. Someone last night in stream mentioned for another community night, if we were going to do like private matches in Destiny, something as fun as random loadouts. I'm open to all kinds of suggestions to incorporate you guys within this community, whether it's PvP in Destiny, PvP in Overwatch, PvP in Diablo Resurrected, because that's another game I'm going to be touching as well. I want to be able to incorporate a fun PvP, a competitive PvP, and an intelligent PvP, all in the same package. Like, we're going to be a community that strengthens ourselves on PvP without neglecting PvE, of course, because I'm not the one to type that. I've always been a very big advocate for games that incorporate both. You got a PvE to be really good at PvP. You're not going to be able to skip one and the other. Obviously, there's loopholes around that in a game like Destiny, but a game like Diablo, it's something different. It's something different. So, again, Trials is back. Upload tomorrow. I'm gonna give you guys a first flawless of the week. Get that upload. Hopefully, it doesn't take me all day to do. I try to be as honest as I can about that. Saturday, Trials halftime is back. I've already started talking to a few of my buddies. We're going to be reviewing the map and we're going to be playing. He was mentioning something about an emblem giveaway, and he asked me if it was okay to during while we're playing. So when I have more information on that, I'll be a lot more descriptive, but I want to give a little bit of tease that my other fire team member, I'll already give you an idea. His name's Papa Punny. He's been on the show before. He's got an emblem, and he's looking to do a giveaway for it, multiple of them. So that might be something to keep in mind, to stay tuned this weekend when me and him get together with another fire team member, and we review the map and we play the card. So he's got an emblem to give away. So a little bit of more incentive to pop your head in. On Sunday, it's family day. Typically, I'll do sometimes a little bit of chill trials with my friends at the end of the day. And I'm usually just hanging out, especially during football season. I'm usually just relaxing. Mondays, we're getting everything together for the next week of play. Tuesdays, reset uploads. Wednesday will be continuously community play-alongs, whatever it may be. Survival, banner, control, elimination. It's truly however the community is feeling. We're going to use the poll system to get a good gauge on the community on what exactly the most people are feeling, because I want to give as much as I can and give you guys the option of saying, hey, like, let's jump on PC this week, or let's jump on Xbox. Family's doing great, Fit Dog. Thanks for asking. I'm excited to play again March 23rd. Hey, man, I hope some people can feel content with Stasis, with how they tweak it. And I'm just so tired of streamers saying, oh, Stasis, all this, all that. Like, come on. It's really not that bad. It's truly not that bad. Things like the Behemoth are crappy, but people were getting away with so many other things from light subcasts prior, and it was just chilled out with. Smash, he's great. Thank you everybody for asking about my son. He's doing awesome. He's huge. We actually went to the pediatrician yesterday, and he's on track. Last son of Krypton. So I'm excited about the schedule that we kind of just really just put together last second. A big thank you to Creature for helping me get this going live as fast as we can. I'm glad we were able to get an hour out of this. This was my first TWAB kind of read through. I didn't want to make it seem like I'm taking people's thunder or anything, but I want to be able to make Destiny still a part of this community as best I can. We're going to work through the speed bumps all together, and like I said, we're going to expand on top of this channel other games as well. We're not going to leave Destiny. We're not going to forget about Destiny, especially while Trials is around, because I'm very competitive in that playlist and I'm not going to drop it. But we're also going to open the doors to other games as well, because we want this channel to be PvP in every game and in every aspect, and even games that Lono talks about in SNTR Live, or he even plays on himself on SNTR Gaming. I'd love to incorporate that, so we have a little bit of conjecture and conversation and references and stuff like that. So big things for the channel, this channel, Crucible Coliseum. Big things for the overall network now that we're back on a pace a little bit. Krebsy says, just a thought, but everyone wants a VIP fight night. Wolverine streams at night. Wolverine plays with the communities. You think Wolverine could host a VIP fight night? We could maybe work into it. We got a lot of conversating we got to work on. I love playing with the community. I'd love to continue playing the community. There's a lot of funny games on Steam I'd like to play. I've thrown a few at Creature. One step at a time. We're gonna get bigger. We're almost to that join button. We got to continue watching, getting those watch hours, and part of that is on me about getting out these videos on a weekly basis, on a daily basis. We got a few shorts out there that have hit the 1,000. We're gonna try and get those shorts as high as we can. A few gameplay shorts. I put a Ric Flair out one earlier this week. Kind of made me laugh. I hope it makes you laugh too. I get carried away with the shorts a little bit because I know they're not monetized, so I can add in music or add in like little quirky things to just make you laugh a little bit. It's kind of like what I did on my personal channel. I had no dreams of ever getting that personal channel monetized, because I use real music I listen to on a daily basis, and not this non-DMCA stuff. So again, I would like to expand on this channel's incorporation of being interactive, whether it's something like a fight night or whatever the case may be. So we'll work down the line of that. But right now we got Trials back. We got a new schedule for Crucible Coliseum. We're gonna expand past Destiny on the channel as well to incorporate other PvP related games. And that's just gonna be it, ladies and gentlemen. So again, thank you very much for coming out. I really appreciate it. And we're gonna be live. We're gonna be live right back in Trials tomorrow. And we're gonna be live Saturday night, 8:00 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Crucible Coliseum with Trials halftime. I'll see you then. And as always, Guardians, stay flawless.